Greg? Well, they usually do it at like 2 in the morning, so I don't think we'll know it before we wrap up here. If we do, obviously I'll announce it. Usually I wake up in the morning and find out. Yeah. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, it starts when the Xavier locker room is open now, so it should be open until 9:40. They are on their way down the hallway now. Tip time for the final game will be at 9:24. 9:24. Quick note before we start, a career high 18 points for Sean O'Mara. Again, our format will be, we'll have Coach Mack make an opening statement, and then please raise your hand with any questions. Coach Mack.
Well, anytime you can advance in the NCAA tournament, you're really fortunate. Played a very well-coached team in Maryland, a team that we had a lot of respect for. Their guards present a lot of problems, and I thought our zone, especially in the second half, for the most part, at least the last 8 to 10 minutes, did the job and kept them out of the lane for the most part. These two guys next to me, Sean played the best game he's ever played in a Xavier uniform, which to save it for this stage is awesome. I'm happy for him. Trayvon played a heck of a second half in a Xavier uniform. And that seems like the theme, so I talked to him a little bit after the game, and hopefully we can get him going both halves. And we're just fortunate to move on.
Front row on the center aisle.
Congrats, fellas. Trey, this is not, obviously Chris alluded to it, not the first time you've had a little bit of a slow start in the first half and come on very strong in the second half. What was your mind, 1 of 8 tonight in the first half, what was your mindset coming out for the last 20?
Honestly, I felt like the first half, just kind of felt a little sped up. Probably just excited just to be out there in tournament time. And then my mentality, never wavered. It was just, still be there for my team, make the right plays. And, once I just settled down a little bit, my team kept instilling that confidence in me to, score the ball. So, I try to, read the defense, and, it all turned out well.
Third row on our left, and then we'll come over to the right.
Trayvon, 7 of 8 in the second half. Was the basket getting bigger for you every time you took a shot in the second half?
It may have looked like it, but, it was just, once I get a couple to go in, then you get a little rhythm going, then everything, starts to fall in, everything you shoot just feels good, so.
We're going to go to our far right on the far aisle.
Yeah, Sean, 18 bench points at halftime for you guys, 30 for the game. How important is it for the reserves to step up in the absence of Trey in that first half?
It's huge. Trey alluded to just getting a rhythm, and I think I got that in the first half, and be able to have Kaiser come in off the bench too and hit some threes, especially in the second and in the first. He played a great game too. Just being able to have guys come in like that and help us, especially offensively, is it's awesome. It's a huge benefit that we have with this team.
Front row on our left, and then the center aisle.
Chris, when you guys were going down that stretch toward the end of the season, and I think it was 6 in a row that you lost, what was going on, and what'd you do to get out of that and do well in the Big East tournament and then come here and win this game?
Well, it's a shocking deal when you lose, one of the best point guards in the country. And I thought our team, responded well in the first, 2-3 games out of the chute. Quentin played an excellent, last 8 minutes at St. John's. And then we ended up beating Seton Hall, Creighton, and DePaul. And then Trey goes down against Villanova 8 minutes into the game. And so our team changed. All of a sudden you have 2 of your best players out. So I don't think that we were as beat up as people think. We play in a hellacious league. A 3-game road trip was sandwiched by 2 of the best teams in the country. And I'm just proud of our group for being able to stick with each other and not necessarily worry about outsiders' expectations or outsiders' perception of our so-called problems. And we kept working, we kept battling. We knew we had a lot at stake when we went up to DePaul, and we handled our business and did the same thing in the Big East tournament. I'm proud of these guys and happy for them that they're able to play with a little bit of freedom in the NCAA tournament that we didn't feel during that stretch you talked about.
Center aisle.
Coach, you changed between zones and between man constantly throughout the game. Also, you subbed in Malcolm and you subbed in Kaiser going all the way through the end. What prompted you to make so many changes tonight?
Well, I just believe in my players. And I also think that Maryland, they're really good man-to-man offensively against man. They do a great job of getting their guards in the lane. And, we're not playing 11, 12 guys. We're generally playing 7, 8 guys. And so I didn't want Quentin Gooden to be chasing Melo Trimble all over the floor. So zone for us is fairly effective at times. And I know some other teams like Iowa and Nebraska have had some success against Maryland. So we're going to do what we think takes to win.
Back row, center aisle.
Chris, what's the biggest change since 2-3 weeks ago? Is it Quentin getting more confident? Is it Trey getting healthy? What are the sort of the 1 or 2 biggest changes?
Well, I think those 2 are really big right there, Jeff. You know, Quentin goes from being a backup quarterback to the starting quarterback of our team. He goes from playing 12 minutes to 35 minutes a game. And, you know, when he was playing his 12 minutes, if he turned the ball over, you could pull him out, tell him what he sees, you know, what he should be seeing. And beside that, he had Edmund Sumner who could sort of mentor him and tell him what he thinks Quentin needs to do and help him with that experience. But all of a sudden, he's thrown out there and he's got to play through his mistakes. And he's also playing against really, really good players. So that's one of them. I think Quentin's grown a lot. Obviously, Trey getting healthy. But I just think everybody on our team at times, like Sean and Kaiser did tonight, have stepped up. And that's what our team needs.
Our far right.
For both Coach and Trey, you had 17 second-half points against Butler, 18 tonight. What gives you the composure to not press when you start out slow and to come back and have such effective second halves?
Coach harps about, winning the, 4-minute wars. We don't necessarily try to worry about the game. We worry about the 4-minute wars, in between TV timeouts. So, we stayed poised and composed, and we just knew we weren't going to get it back, all at once, and we just had to keep itching away. And, I think the team did a good job of, listening to that and going out there and doing it.
And we've had some experiences with that, Brad. I know against Butler at Madison Square Garden, for instance, we got down, 9 points or whatever it was in the second half. And, I told our guys, hey, listen, we were down 11 at Creighton with 6 minutes to go. This is a neutral floor. I mean, we should be fine. Like Trey said, we just have to sort of compartmentalize the game, worry about the next 4-minute war. Can we win that one? Can we come back to the next TV timeout having won that war 5-2? As Trey says, you're not going to get it all back at once. And, we hit some shots, and our guys played a little bit looser in the second half.
Front row.
Yeah, Chris, it seemed like Melo was finding open looks and maybe just not knocking a few down in the first half, but in the end it seemed like Malcolm and Q did a good job guarding him. What was your assessment of how that matchup went?
I thought they did a terrific job. Just because we're in zone doesn't mean that you're not going to have personal individual challenges. You're going to face those all the time. Quentin got squared up a couple times with Melo Trimble, and I thought did a great job of cutting him off, putting his chest on him and not necessarily let him get downhill and get an angle. And some of the finishes that Maryland had to try to make, at least the last 6 to 8 minutes, I felt like there was a Xavier player that was making it tough and staying in the play. And that's usually the difference between missing those 4 and 5 footers and making them. And I thought our guards did a really good job in that.
We have time for 2 more. We're going to go to the front row and then behind you.
For Trayvon and Sean, what fueled that 14-0 run you had there about midway through the second half, and what was the impact for you guys coming out of that?
I think, like we talked about before, we got the 4-minute wars that we're always focusing on. Obviously, I think it kind of went through one of them, but just be able to keep our foot on the gas no matter what the score says, just know what we're capable of, take care of the ball on offense. And, as long as we get a good look every possession, I feel like we're going to, have a pretty good run. I feel like our defense is solid as long as we're working together and communicating. So to be able to do that is just, what we need to do to win.
Trayvon, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he said, just focusing on those 4-minute wars and just winning those each time. And, when we really have good possessions on the defensive end, it translates to the offensive end. And, we try to emphasize, putting those, together, back to back. And I think we did a good job, just staying focused on the defensive end, and it just all translated offensively.
Okay, next question.
Sean, with a game like this tonight, what kind of momentum does that give you, or confidence that you have going into playing Florida on Saturday?
Yeah, we'll see who we're playing. I'm not really sure yet, but no, it's confidence-wise, it's obviously nice. But in the end, I've kind of had confidence. My teammates have had confidence. My coaches have had confidence in me. So just to be able to actually see it come to light in this game, especially how big it was for us, was just a great feeling. And hopefully, I can keep it rolling for our team.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck, guys. No, Kevin? He's in the locker room. Are they out of their?
They're right here in the holding room.
Okay, all right.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Their locker room is open as well. to grab these? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Okay, we'll get started right away. We'll have Coach Turgeon with an opening comment, and then please raise your hand with questions. Coach Turgeon.
I thought the better team won tonight, the team that played better. I thought Xavier's second half was tremendous, blew it, got going. I think he missed one shot in the second half, and then we didn't rebound well in the second half. And, you know, we were 46-40, and we just kind of went in a drought, and they got hot, and give them credit. And then we got sped up a little bit towards the end, but they played better. They deserved to win. Got a nice team.
Questions, please. Front row and all right.
Mark,
Me or student?
Yeah, can we get questions for the two?
yeah,
yeah.
for the players.
I'm sorry.
Okay. For Melo, we saw a similar situation last week against Northwestern second half with the drought. What happened tonight? Was it their defense? Was it again their defense sort of, or your offense leading to, defensive mistakes?
I mean, we just didn't make any shots. I felt like when we went up 6, we got too relaxed, and they started hitting shots, started running our offense really well, and we just couldn't capitalize. And we didn't defensive rebound very well, and we wasn't executing on offense end.
If we could get questions for the players, and then we'll let them go back to the locker room. Yes, center aisle.
I wonder if both players could address the development of the program over the last 3 years, how far you think you've come from the time you got on campus, and where you think the future is headed.
We really worked really hard, and as you can see, we made it the tournament 3 straight years in a row. So the future is very bright for this team, and like Coach just told us in the locker room, we just gotta dedicate ourselves, and the guys that's coming back, they have to continue to work hard and get stronger and just continue to get better. But the future is really bright.
Melo, your thoughts on that?
Just like DeMonte said, made the tournament 3 straight years in a row. We had a really good year this year with 3 freshmen that really carried the load. And, next year the future is bright, like DeMonte said, and the guys that's coming back just got to keep working. The guys that's coming in is going to also keep working. So since I've gotten there, we've just been winning. And I think that's a positive note. And I think that's, the future's, like I said, bright.
Front row.
Melo, how much was it their zone in terms of impacting the offense, or how much of it was you guys, as you said before, settling for jumpers?
Like I said, we didn't execute the way we did in the first half. We got great open looks, just couldn't knock them down. Unfortunately, that's been how it is all season. But like I said, we had great looks. We couldn't make any shots, and they were able to score on the other end.
Okay, Melo and DeMonte, if you want to go back to the locker room, that's fine. We'll take questions for Coach Turgeon. Thanks, guys. Is that a question over?
Yeah, Mark. In terms of the drought tonight, second half, it seemed like it was a trend for much of the past 11 games. Is this something just you can explain, or was tonight an outlier in any way? But I guess what happened, offensively, and was it part of a bigger thing that you saw down the stretch?
Well, if I had the answer, I would have fixed it. I think they got hot, and we kind of got rushed a little bit. I think tonight, at times, we struggled with the change of defense, not necessarily the defense that they were in, and recognizing it. So they were playing 3 different defenses. And everybody's got to recognize it on the floor. And that really hurt us more than anything because we had some bad possessions because guys weren't in the right position with that. But I thought we had plenty of good looks at times, and we had some really good possessions too. But I think it was more the changing of defense tonight that gave us more problems than anything.
Front row and then right behind you.
Coach, certainly Justin Jackson was on his game tonight versus the past few games. Was that an emphasis in practice to get him to shoot? Because it did land tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. He had a tremendous year. What a year that kid had. And we worked hard, guys. I know it doesn't show on the scoreboard, but the thing I was proud about this team is we just kept fighting. And it hadn't gone our way for about a month. Really, since Checo went down, we haven't been the same team. And but we kept battling. And but Justin was aggressive. He got the dunk early, and I think that kind of got him going. He made some jump shots, and they went zone. And we found rhythm against the zone the first half because they played one defense most of the time. And we found rhythm against it, and he made some big threes. But second half, we just didn't have as much rhythm.
Second row.
Mark, Colin was on the bench for quite a while there. What did you see in his game tonight? And then secondly, the experience those three freshmen got over the course of the whole season, what's that going to mean going forward?
Yeah, in Anthony, what a great year he had. And, he still played 25 minutes. When they went to 1-3-1, he got swallowed up a little bit. And I was trying to play big guards, but I just didn't have a lot of depth tonight. And so he just got swallowed up. It was hard for him to make plays. So that's why he was out. But when he was in, I thought he really played well. He had the big steal in the second half and did a lot of good things for us. So the experience that our freshmen had this year is amazing. What they were able to do, I mean, really, you're going to say it was Melo's team because it was, but these cats, these three guys, what they had on their plate. And we're going to step back in about a week and be like, wow, that was incredible what these guys just did. And right now it's hard because we didn't finish the season the way we wanted to do. But we just didn't have it in us anymore. And maybe it was just they had to play so many minutes and they didn't have the experience around them to help them. But those guys were terrific, and really proud of them and had great years. And 24 wins and playing the minutes they played was pretty special.
We'll take a final question in the front row.
Mark, in terms of, you spoke about Checo's injury and the lack of depth, both things seem to impact you the last month. How tough is it when you make those changes and put those guys in, hoping they're going to do something, and they don't? I mean, even played gave you a little bit, but how hard is it to keep any kind of momentum going when you go from Melo and Kevin to the guys coming off the bench?
Yeah, well, to get to where we were, our bench was terrific this year, and they helped us tonight. Even really helped us tonight. Jared had a good minutes in the first half. I thought Jalen hit a big three in the first half. So there was a lot of things they helped us with. We just weren't the same team down the stretch, and it wasn't from the lack of effort. We tried. We practiced hard every day. This team was committed. Loved being around this team. Just couldn't get it done late.
Thank you, Coach.
Tournament experience. It's the Eagles and Joe Dooley that have tournament experience in recent years that'll be on display stepping into tonight's contest.
And a couple of guys to keep an eye on. Dwayne Bacon for Florida State. Brandon Goodwin for Florida Gulf Coast. The transfer from Central Florida has been Mr. Everything for the Eagles. Jonathan Isaac, major prospect, the freshman from Naples, Florida.